to speak, we are speeches. And my speech is, every speech has some objective, and my objective is about the voice quality, the pitch, and how you speak. The speech has to have some pauses, and the pauses, and you have to lower your voice. It's about the voice modulation. So in this way we have different formats and different speeches. So every speech has a different objective, set of objectives, and we have to give it, prepare it on those set of objectives, choose a topic such that it covers all those objectives and deliver it. So are we clear? Okay. So
Each 10 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes.
I'm about to reveal a secret. On a dark, windy night last summer, I had experienced this thing. What was it? Without a single star in the night, and the clock struck midnight. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Fellow Toastmasters, I will now appease your curiosity. But I am sorry to disappoint you all. I was just studying, preparing for the toughest, most important exam for any MBA aspirant. I was preparing for CAT. I was preparing to be on the other side. But as you all know, I am on the other side, still struggling. So I continued my struggle that night too. Soon I got bored of studying and turned on the TV. And even on the TV, I saw a dreadful figure appear. He was like some descendant of Gabbar Singh, with beard so thick he could use it as a wallet. And he said, "Chain se sona hai to jaag jaiye." I was intrigued by the irony in his statement, and I suddenly became vigilant. And meanwhile, I heard someone chanting outside, "Bhaji, Bhaji." Well, it was the World Cup season. Listening to that call, my landlord, Mr. Iyer, came out and said, "What is it, Mr. Chadda? Don't you say it's midnight?" Soon, Mrs. Iyer also joined him.
Who is shouting? Why is this Bajiwala shouting at midnight, Ra?
Soon, I also joined them. Now, Mr. Chadda explained that that day India had knocked out Pakistan out of the quarter final, and his son Bhaji was knocked out after having the final quarter. So, Mr. Chadda just wanted one of us to enter into his house through the balcony and open the door for him. Mind you, both landlords, Mr. and Mrs. Iyer, are as athletic as Usain Bolt and PT Usha. So this poor tenant turned towards the landlords, and my landlord said,
You know, I was a long jump champion in college. You're not tenanta. Mind it. But you know, today I am having this bad pain in the knees. So can you please?
okay, his agony was justified. Now what option did I have? So I shamelessly looked towards Auntie. Auntie, kindly, Auntie. Auntie got the hint, and she was quick to reach the edge of the balcony and wanted to jump. But it was my bad luck that her Kanjivaram sari became a hindrance. I wish you were wearing trousers then. Anyway, we had to go for the other option, the last option. That was me. And looking at the terrifying view of the ground, I was trembling and shaking with fear when Mr. Chadda said, "Oh, Putter, you are a youngster. What to fear when Chadda standing here? Just close your eyes and chak the fatte. Simple." The way he said simple, I thought even jumping from Bombay Hospital to Qutub Minar was simple. What am I, Hulk or Spider-Man? If I had failed and fallen down, Even uncle with his bad knees would seem better than a youngster. Anyway, I closed my eyes, said my prayers, and decided to jump. What are you wondering at? Do you need a stethoscope to hear this? Bhaji! 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 But it was in vain. He didn't open. Probably he was dreaming and doing bhangra in his dreams. But it was quite dark out there. And in front of me, I saw a pair of shiny blue eyes approaching towards me, wearing silk as white as milk. And from under those shiny blue eyes, the lips parted and uttered a voice. On hearing that, my heart skipped a few beats. You know what the voice said? It said, Mommy! You still need a stethoscope to hear this? Sorry, Mr. Tiger. I don't have 200 crores, but I can guarantee you 200 packs of pedigree the next thing in the morning. But he didn't budge and kept on roaring. I prayed to God, oh dear Almighty, so kind and divine, please save me from this ferocious canine. He listened to my prayers, and suddenly this creature had the epiphany that it wasn't a real tiger, but just a cute little poodle, and went along towards a flower pot, and it comforted itself. And then I went on to open the door for Mr. Chadda, and I was happy to come back through the regular entrance. Well, after that session of midnight adventure, I felt relief, and I slept in delight. At the end, I will want to tell you another secret. The very next morning, I brought truckloads of pedigree for Tiger, as promised. And since that day, Tiger became my bodyguard. Over to the Toastmaster.
That's a perfect start by Mohit. I hope I hope you all enjoyed with this your speech and his actions. Let's call Shashank for the second prepared speech. Once again, let me reiterate the rules of the class. Like we will have for the prepared speeches, we have 5 minutes, and at the end of 5th minute, we'll have first warning for at 6th minute, second warning.
Actually, we keep it 4 and 1.
Okay. Sorry, we'll put it as this way: 4 minutes, and then first warning is 4.5, and 5 minutes is the second warning. So we have to make sure that we have to complete it by 5 minutes.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I'm Shashank. I'm a level 3 speaker. Today, the objective of this my speech is to inspire you guys to some extent. I don't know if I'll be able to fulfill that, but to some extent, I'll try my best. Let me start off by asking a question. How many of you have seen a machine or a complex system which has just appeared by chance? I don't think anyone will have seen such kind of a complex machine or a system. So if we talk about the universe, scientists say that universe just happened. There was a collision and universe just happened. How can you expect us to believe that if a complex system cannot appear by chance? And scientists don't even have the evidence for that thing. Even if they have a single evidence to say that a complex system like universe just happened, it would be great for them. The second thing I would like to talk about is again our life. I would like to relate this our life with the universe. See, the universe has to have a purpose. Any complex machine or a system has to have a purpose or a creator. Some may say that it was God who created universe. It was God's purpose to create universe and give us life. I'm not here to argue on that. I'm not here to talk about spirituality. But I would say that our life should have some purpose. See, when we are born, when we are babies, doctors say that the system through which we are born is the most complex thing ever they have seen. And they would also agree that a human body is as complex as universe. So if that kind of complexity is being created by chance, how will you be able to believe that kind of thing? So I believe that our purpose to come in this world has to have a purpose. And by purpose, I don't mean goals. Let me give you an example. Let us take example of our very own Sachin Tendulkar. If we say that the goal of Sachin Tendulkar's life was to get his 100th century, I don't believe that was his goal. When he was 16, his goal was to get into an Indian team. So I say the purpose of Sachin Tendulkar's life was to score runs. So this is important. Do you get the difference? The goal and the purpose are two different things. Let me give you another example. If we say that Michael Schumacher and his Ferrari, both are complex systems, that didn't have purpose, how can we say that? They had goals. They had goals to get into Formula 1 championships and all those things. But Michael Schumacher's purpose of life was to get those 7 championships. He didn't have that goal set in his mind that I'll get 7 championships. He had that purpose in his life. And that is why 99% of the population in the world don't rule the world. There's only 1% of the population who rule the world. I believe that they know the purpose of their lives. This is what is the difference between normal people and people who know what is the purpose of their life. So I would persuade you guys to start thinking of these things. See, we all have short-term goals. We all know that we have to earn money, we all envious, have to get good jobs and all those things. Those are goals. But I'm talking about the purpose. See, Sachin Tendulkar knew his purpose. That's why he was successful. And that's why he had the passion. We all know that if one has to be successful in his life, he has to have the passion for something. So, when I say that we need to find that passion or that purpose, I don't mean go around thinking about just go and Google stuff, what is my passion? You can't do that. You have to work on that thing. And that is what our life is all about. I believe that our purpose of coming into this universe is to find what we are passionate about. And if we are able to do that, you are successful. That's it. That's for sure. Everyone in this world who has great passion for anything are successful. Shakespeare's purpose was again to write, not to become famous. He wrote and wrote. That's why he became so famous that everyone in the world knows him forever. So I'd like to thank you all guys for giving me a chance to speak.
What was your speech number? 33.
Thank you, Shishank. That was an informative and inspirational speech. Now we have Vaibhav Rastogi in terms of another prepared speech. Okay, let's welcome Bhavna.
Hello fellow Toastmasters, good evening and a very warm welcome to this meeting of Toastmasters at Sanitary. Today I'll be delivering a speech which is more or less like an impromptu only, and I'll be talking on a topic which is gaining momentum, or which has gained momentum over the past few years and has become a very important part of our life, if not part of all of our life, but definitely for many of us it's important, and that is Facebook addiction. Now we all are familiar with that name, and let me start with it this way. If addiction is judged by how long a dumb animal sits consuming cocaine to satisfy his senses for his own detriment, then I think Facebook is far more addictive than cocaine. And you know why? Because cocaine can at least provide you some satisfaction for a moment, but Facebook, no chance. There's no satisfaction limit in it. So I have a list of symptoms which you can test for yourself whether you are suffering from this deadly disease or not. So one of them is you are 24/7 on Facebook. It's the first thing you want to do when you wake up in the morning. It's the first thing you want to do when you enter your room. It's the first thing you want to do when you take up your cell phone. The other thing is you exhibit erratic behavior, restlessness when you're kept away from this platform for a long while. Then you suffer from lack of sleep, you're not able to sleep well. Then you definitely want to spend more time alone with that machine with you because you think that is where your interaction levels are, or that is where you find interest. You start lying to your family members especially. And then there is this stage reached when you know that this thing is detrimental to you and you want to leave it, you have the willingness, but somehow you don't have the ability to leave it. So that is that stage when we say that gone case, you are definitely addicted to it. Now there are pros and cons to every activity, and Facebook as a platform, it has pros. Some of them are you can get connected to people who are very far away from you, so distance does not matter. It brings friends closer, people closer. Planning and scheduling and of meetings becomes easier. It's not a very time consuming activity, and it's definitely a very good cure for boredom. But then on the other hand, it has been proven by research that job performance comes down, your academic performance comes down in case when you're very active on these social media sites. The other important thing is security. So now the thing comes, all of our data, all of our personal data which is there on this website is visible to our friends, then friends of friends, then friends of friends of friends, and it's an endless long chain. And it's an open box out there. It never closes. Now tell me one thing, how much information, personal information do you want the other person to know about yourself? They are not all your friends. We just do some things because it's a trend going on, everyone is posting things, so let me also go and post. But you know, there's a whole lot of public out there. And it's a recent news when Bal Thackeray died, this 20-year-old girl in Mumbai, she and her friend were jailed. Now it's an open, it's an economy where, or it's a country where you have the freedom of speech, but you have to do it through the right channel. And you have to do it thinking that you have a sufficient backing. Now this girl landed herself into a problem as well as her family members into a problem. And this news is still continuing in case you follow it. And then there are so many different applications, games like Castlevania, everything on which we usually indulge into. But the companies which are holding these games on this platform, they're not big enough to be trusted with our information. And then we face problems. Let me tell you, all of our private settings or privacy settings, they go for a toss once your account gets hacked. And personally, I have faced that problem. So it's not a very secure world. And then the other important thing which is coming up these days is this disguised personality which people pose on this website. You are actually not what you're posing there. It might not be the case with you, but yet it is there for most of our friends out there in our country or in the whole world. So I would like to conclude with this. There is something happening, so it depends on us how do we want to use that platform. In a good way or a bad way, we want to make it as a boon or a bane. And addiction, any kind of addiction is bad, and this being an addiction surely is a very bad thing. Over to you, guys.
Thank you, Bhavna. I'm sure many of our Facebook friends are now cursing inside.
Unlike her.
Okay, coming back to the business. Let's welcome Vaibhav Rastogi for the prepared speech.
Hello everyone, my name is Vaibhav. I'll be delivering a speech on a crackjack moment, I will call it. It's a little salty, it's a little sweet. I will not be able to match Mohit in terms of content and delivery, but I'll try and see if I meet your expectations. The year was 2007. I was a young boy at that time. Peak summer. 4th of May. And if you've been to Delhi, you understand how hot it can be in Delhi in May. It's hot as hell, and if you go out, you will come back late. There is no chance that you can go out and come unharmed. So that was the time, and there is a competition called Microsoft Imagine Cup, and our team was one of the 11 finalists in that particular contest, and we were invited to Delhi. The venue was Air Force Auditorium, Subrata Park, and it was a big contest. Around 1,500 people participated, out of which the finals were being held. So we took a train from Allahabad, which is where my college was, to Delhi. We reached there, and in the morning I called up the coordinator. I asked him, where can we come, where is our arrangement made? Now our train reached at 8, and the event was supposed to start at 9:30. But we didn't know that. We thought we had informed him about our travel plans and he would make arrangements appropriately. He said, forget about your accommodation, you can go there later. Come straight to the venue, and that was the first shock of the day. Now, imagine you getting off the train, and it's a very big competition. Out of 1,500 people, teams, you've been chosen, you're the chosen 11, and you're presenting to a very eminent panel, and the prizes are go into lakhs. And you'll be interviewed by some of the biggest television channels, even Hindu, Indian Express, all big newspapers will be there, and you've just gotten off the train and you have to present. So finally we said, okay, we'll go. We reached the venue, and it was a complete shock for us. Now, Air Force Auditorium, I'll describe it for you. Before that, I forgot, this is my 4th speech, and my objective is to use the right words. If I can produce that imagery for you, if I can make you feel how it was for me, then I have served my purpose. So, Air Force Auditorium in Subrata Park, it's a very, as all defense properties, it's a very polished place. There is a airplane replica there. There is a big auditorium, there is a portico, there is a circulating space, and it's all very nice. I mean, properly landscaped, lawns, everything. Now we were all disheveled, looking bumpkinly, country boys, and we just landed, and everybody was there in proper suits and ties because it's a big contest, and it's Microsoft, so people were dressed properly. We finally pumped ourselves, okay, we are doing great, we'll do great, and we increased our confidence somehow. And we asked, where can we change? I mean, we are in our jammies, pajamas, shorts, wearing shorts, and we can't present like this. So they said, okay, you go to the restroom and get dressed. We went to the restroom. As we were coming out of the restroom, now imagine, there is a meeting going on. There is a room like this, and this is the restroom door. Now we went in, everything was empty. Nobody was sitting there. When we came out, there were around 15 people sitting there, all in their 40s and 50s. Now I'll tell you who these people were. It was the AICTE chairman. It was CTO of Rediff.com, CEO of eGurukul, MD of Helion Ventures, IT Madras director, and people of that stature. I mean, I can't remember who all were there. So venture capitalists, people from the industry, all very learned people. I mean, VPs from Microsoft were there. So it was they were having their discussion, and they were discussing very seriously, okay, this is how innovation in 2013 would look like. They were discussing, and we were walking in, tucking our shirts and tying our belts and our ties. And he froze, as if a deer freezes when he sees your car headlights. So we were just like that. And they were looking at us, and it was 30 seconds of awkwardness. We finally moved on. They said, okay. And they were supposed to be our judges later. Maybe, we weren't sure what impression we made on them. We pushed through it, we said, okay, it happens. And it didn't end there. It went on. So we had to set up our particular software on that day. We found out that we haven't brought a Visual Studio 2005 CD, which was supposed to run it. Now, having come all the way 600 kilometers, we didn't bring the software. We were underprepared. Crash. Finally, we somehow sourced it. Now we needed a LAN card because we had to show it as a network system. We didn't have a LAN card. Finally, so event after event, we increased our confidence. Okay, I think we are going to win because everybody is underprepared. We are the most prepared team. Finally, we actually set it up. It was a very innovative concept, and probably our impression that we created earlier in the day on the judges, it helped us win the third prize. So we won a 50,000 pool prize, which was quite sizable for third year BTech students, and that is how the day ended.
That's a nice speech by Rastogi. Now let's start impromptu speeches. Can I invite Sampada for the table topics?
Thank you, Sandeep. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
How are you this evening?
Good.
Enjoying the session so far?
Yes.
3 very energetic speeches we had, out of which 2 were impromptus. Well, we'll get to that in the evaluation section, which the impromptus were so much like prepared speeches that, well, let's keep it to the evaluation section, like I said. So now is the time for table topic section. Table topics means impromptu speeches. When you are given a topic, then and there, and then you have to talk about it. So let's add a little bit of twist to this table topic section. Have you ever seen press conferences happening? No. On the television, maybe live even.
Yes.
So all of us have seen a press conference, right?
Yes.
Okay. Ever felt that I should be part of it? Maybe asking questions, even answering them, right? I always feel like that. People asking questions to Madhuri Dixit, why did you go away and leave us here with a different crop of heroines? I would like to be in her shoes and say something about it, right? So today, I give you this opportunity, this golden opportunity to be your favorite personality. Now that personality can be real, or someone from the cartoon world, someone from the television world, some character from a book, from a movie, anything. So you today can be anyone. Come up here and 2 of you sitting in the audience, the journalists in this press conference, will get a chance to ask a question to this personality. So this is going to be the format for the table topics. Do you like it?
Yes.
Okay, so now think about what you would like to be for 30 seconds while I decide on the timings with the timer over here. Is the timer? Okay, so we'll do it this way. The person comes up and just explains who he or she is impersonating. So maybe we give only 30 seconds to that. And when those 30 seconds are over, you can show your pen or hand so that I will get a signal that now I have to start asking, throwing it to the audience to ask questions. And then people will raise their hands, ask a question that will not be timed. Once the person starts answering the question, then again we will time it for let's say 1 minute maybe. Okay, so 1 minute is the finishing time. So for the first answer, the person starts speaking, his or her time starts. 1 minute gets completed. Again, you raise your hand so that the person knows that this question is now answered. Even if it's not, it has to be. And then this is a signal to me to go back to the journalists assembled here and ask the second question. Same for the answer, 1 minute again. And this we will do for it's 8:10 now. So maybe we'll do this for 20 minutes till 8:30. So have you guys thought? So are you yourself now or are you that personality now? I see everyone is in character. So who wants to give it a first shot?
Somebody from my team. Yeah.
Come on,
I
this
think-
is a golden opportunity. I wouldn't want to miss it.
Paridi, you want to try? Rishi gets participate.
Introduce us the character.
I'll be narrating and impersonating Amitabh Bachchan.
Okay, so no further introduction needed. So all the eminent reporters gathered here. Who wants to ask a question to Mr. Amitabh Bachchan over here?
How much you are earning from BBC?
Sorry, sir. उसके बारे में हम बता नहीं सकते.
A more elaborate question maybe? Bhavna.
Don't you feel ashamed that your son is not doing so well and you had such a great career? And
No.
I don't think so Abhishek Bachchan even knows how to act.
I appreciate your frankness about that, but it's not a matter of shame. It's just that he's my son, and I'd like him to improve. That's it.
And he'll improve in the same line, sir?
Not exactly. Yeah, but it's not necessary that he takes just acting to be his whole life career. I mean, his life aim. I think he's good at what he likes.
But he's already married, he has a child, and do you think now is the time that he'll realize which career option he should take?
No,
Like as a
exactly.
dad, how do you look at your son?
I feel that it's fine if he enjoys what he does and is good with whatever he does. It's no matter how successful he is or how he takes his life to be. I guess it's okay.
Alright, now we have time for one last question to Big B. Shashank.
How do you feel like acting with 20-year-old women when you are 60, and isn't it awkward when you're sharing screen with 20-year-old girls?
Obviously it was awkward, but it was fun.
Alright, you. So next twist, Amina. Rishi. Let's hear it for Rishi.
I am the Joker from Dark Knight. Only from Dark Knight.
Okay. Trevor.
Yes, I have a question, Mr. Joker. Why did you steal a quotation from Nietzsche and
From?
Nietzsche, whatever it
Friedrich.
was. Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher. Nietzsche. So he said, whatever doesn't kill me makes me stronger. Right? Couldn't you come up with anything original? Why did you have to steal it?
I feel that whenever you do something like the life I've lived, so many people have tried to kill me. But yet here I am still killing people who try to kill me, still making money and still going after the Batman. So I felt that it was fitting at that moment to use those lines. That is why I said, whatever doesn't kill me makes you strong.
Now I'll take 2 steps back and ask for the second question, please.
I have a question. How did you get those cars?
My father was a drunk and a fiend. So one day he goes up crazier than usual. Now mommy used the kitchen knife to defend herself. He doesn't like that. Not one bit. So, with me watching, he takes the knife to her, laughing while he does it. Then he turns to me and says, "Why so serious, son?" He comes towards me with the knife. "Why so serious?" He sticks the blade in my mouth. And why so serious?
I have a question, Mr. Joker. What is your real name?
Joker. I was born that way.
Alright, we had Amitabh Bachchan, we had the Joker. 2 very different personalities. Sayan.
Being passionate about sports, I would like to be India's sports icon or Sachin Tendulkar.
Okay, questions. Now I have to select. Okay, you sir.
When was you retired?
How I knew that was going to be the
That's a gummy actually, but okay, let me answer this. See, when you love something, it's very difficult to retire from it. So I love playing cricket all the time, and I feel that the day when I don't love the sport anymore, I'll probably retire. It's not a period as such, but yeah, you might see me retire probably 10, 20 years from now.
But you are taking away the opportunities of youngsters who would make a good chance in the team.
Okay, so you mean that I'm taking away the place of someone like Yuvraj Singh, who has just been dropped?
Now, the people like Pujara and all, they have made good sense after Indian.
Yeah, but Pujara is still in the team, right? I enjoy playing with him. So.
All right. So the two questions are done, but I see there is a lot of curiosity here about Sachin. So, ma'am.
Sir, do you look forward to playing with your son also in the same team?
Well, actually, yeah, definitely. See, he's when Ganguly retired, I was very sad because he made a great pair of left hand right hand combination. Apparently, my son also plays left handed, so I look forward to playing with him someday.
Are you doing something about his height?
What?
Are you doing something about his height, Bonvita, might or something?
See, if height was the main criteria in playing good cricket, then I wouldn't have achieved all those milestones, right?
And have you done something to your voice?
Yeah, actually I've done a voice transplant.
All right. So, next. What's your name, please?
Niveta. Niveta.
Niveta. Please come on the stage.
Good evening to everyone. I'll be trying to impersonate Dr. Ross Geller from Friends.
Dr. Ross Geller. Okay, dinosaur fans.
Why are you so fascinated about dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs? I mean, you know, fossils and paleontology is something that I just kind of liked it. Monica would know better. You know, when I had to change my house, there were boxes and boxes of fossils. Seriously, man.
And what's your obsession with like carrying on the obsession thing? What's your obsession with getting married?
You know, I don't want to my tombstone with having 3 divorces against my name.
You should have them.
Well, you see, I'm not looking forward to going into the 4th one. Yeah.
All right, last question.
How do you?
Tell us more about Unagi.
Unagi, oh, I am so drunk. I'm out on a hangover, you know. Could you just, excuse me, please?
All right. Okay, so someone from television also now we have had. So maybe someone from movies? I mean a character. From a Bollywood movie. Maybe?
No shout-outs?
I wanted to play Manmohan Singh, but they didn't answer me. Can play Rahul Gandhi.
No, then maybe I'll play Sonia Gandhi and make you answer.
It's okay, not being like
Yeah, participate. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh.
No, maybe you could be some cartoon character.
Can do that.
Nobody has been a cartoon character. No one reads books. Yes, sir, please. So, what's your name in real life?
My name is Rasmi Ranjan. Rasmi Ranjan.
Rasmi Ranjan. Welcome.
Talking about cartoon characters, I would love to be playing the role of Bart Simpson.
Okay, Bart Simpson. Questions to Mr. Bart.
What's the source of your energy?
Ay caramba! See, source of energy comes from sun. Okay, once you look at the sun, the real God, he takes out all our energy, but somehow God has given me that kind of gift. You can say that I'm a gifted character or person, that somehow sun, the God's sun, sucks away everyone's energy and somehow he gives it to me. So that's how you see my head like that, the zigzag person like that, right?
You, sir.
You had Nelson chasing you all around. You are so good in aerobics. So what's the reason for that, Tummy?
Sorry, sir. Can I
You had Nelson chasing you all around. So and you are good in aerobics. You are running all day long. So what's the reason for the tummy? For the what?
The tummy. You get so much exercise, but the tummy is standing out.
Protruding out.
You know what? There is very good reason to have a good tummy. You know, when my father eats burgers every day, the donuts. My father eats donuts every day. So somehow, you know, the genetics of evolution says that when a father has a big tummy, you will definitely have a small tummy. A very small tummy, but you will have one. Okay. So that's how you have got that genetic.
What about your hot mom?
Sorry?
Your hot mom?
My father will tell about that.
Okay, one last question. How do you feel about your name rhyming with Pa?
It's okay, you know, no matter how bad or good your name is pronounced, so you are more popular, you know. One fact I can give you, in America there was one question asked to school students, primary, minor school students, 3 to 5, third standard or fifth standard going students, that who is the greatest philosopher in the world? You know what? What was the answer? It was Bart Simpson.
Bart Simpson. So we still have 10 minutes to go, and so many people have not yet spoken. So those who have not yet spoken, who would you like to be given a chance?
You can quote
Yes,
one.
sir, please. Ankit.
I hope some of you have seen South Park.
Yes.
Okay, I would like to be Eric Cartman.
What are your feelings about Mr. Pooh?
Mr. Pooh. Oh, Mr. Pooh. It's a imaginary friend of.
I welcome Moni.